Victorian shellwork, kitschy or beautiful or a bit creepy, it depends on your taste. It appeals to the little child at the seaside in me and my unfashionable interest in things Victorian. But these things are collectible and prices are high. So I decided to have a go myself. Making your own antiques is something I've done before with Berlin woolwork, so I decided to give shellcraft a try. A sailor's valentine appealed, but it is not really a beginner project, is it? So I decided to go for something a bit more modest, such as a picture frame. I studied pictures of original examples and decided not to bother. It was probably harder than it looked, but the idea just wouldn't go away. I bought some shells from the shell shop in Newquay, the Welsh one, not the Cornish one, but though they were the smallest examples they had in the shop, they looked a bit big. Then I went to look for some on the beach, same problem. Though I can use some from both, I realised I needed very tiny ones, and so I bought some online. I found a cheap plain photo frame in a charity shop for a princely sum of 50p. I sanded it down first. I got hold of some PVA glue and some tweezers and I started. I decided to make 2 rows going around the outer and inner edges using little pearly type shells which I'd seen on the Victorian examples. And then I was going to fill in the middle with some other shells. I wasn't really sure what I was doing, really. It sort of just evolved as I went along. Did a bit of fancy stuff on the corners. Using the tweezers was not actually as easy as I thought it would be. Some of the shells are very fiddly with or without tweezers. And the good thing about using that kind of glue is that it doesn't set immediately, unlike a glue gun, which can be messy anyway. And so you can move them around for a fair bit afterwards. By the way, I'm not going to call this a tutorial because a tutorial is usually done by somebody who's done it before and knows what they're doing. This is more of a look what I did and see if you want to do it too. So I got all the outside edges done. The glue looks really messy, but when it dries you don't see it. So I did some little spiral shells in the corner and the 2 rows. And it looked okay. It took, well, very little time really, a lot less than I thought. And then I just filled in the gaps, which was a bit like doing a jigsaw, but without the picture. I was pleasantly surprised at how it turned out. I thought it came out pretty well. And then all I had to do was leave it to dry overnight. All the blotchy glue had magically disappeared or just dried invisibly. So I was happy with it. But I wasn't quite happy with the edges because they still looked bare. I did think about painting it first, but then you're sticking stuff onto paint rather than onto the wood, and I thought that it might peel eventually. So I decided to find some gold paint and paint the inner and outer edges with that, which I did. And then the final thing was to work out what to stick in the frame. I didn't want to put a photograph in there, and I have quite a large vintage postcard collection, so I had a dig about in that, and to my delight found the perfect thing. This is a postcard posted in 1909 called Gathering Seashells. I mean, it couldn't be better, could it? Perfect. And it fitted exactly. So I put it in there. And then I hung it on my wall. And it sits happily beneath another framed postcard, which is a genuine antique, and it even echoes the oval inside that picture. So I'm very happy with it, and I think it looks really good. And I've already started on my next project, which is a shell-covered box. I hope you enjoyed my not tutorial, in which I sort of fiddled about not knowing what I was doing until right at the end when it all worked out happily ever after. And thank you for watching.